Welcome back to Digital Trends Live. I'm Greg Nibbler. Thanks for joining us. And you probably followed along with the rumors about the new Google Nest Home speaker last week. Well, then Google unveiled it a little bit. We got some information to fill us in on all the details. We've got John Velasco joining us right now. So, John, tell us about this new speaker and what we think we're going to get with it.
Thanks for having me, Greg. So yeah, real quick, last week they kind of dropped some news about this new Nest speaker. So a little bit of backstory. The Google Home originally launched back in 2016. We haven't had an upgrade to it. And of course, we've seen the line get expanded to things like the Google Nest Mini and its successor, which was released last year, the Nest Mini speaker. And of course, we have smart displays and all that. So late last week, Thursday to be exact, a new filing came out. There was an FCC filing as well as a regulatory filing in Japan that gave us the first sneak peek of this so-called Google Nest speaker. Now, they don't reference the exact name. We're going to call it just the Google Nest speaker. It may be the Google Nest Home speaker, just to make a little bit more sense, obviously, because this was the Google Home speaker. And when you look at some of the images that they've shown in the filings, it's substantially bigger. Now, this here measures in at 5.6 inches. This new Nest speaker looks like it's going to be substantially bigger. It's going to be around 8.6 inches. So it's going to be taller. It has this oblong shape, but it's obviously a Nest speaker because of the fabric covering around the speaker itself. A new design, totally different from this here. You no longer have this swappable base. It looks like it's going to be available in new colors. If you look at the pictures, there's a mute switch that we could see. There's a proprietary power port. And being a larger speaker, you can only imagine that the audio quality is going to be superior than the original. So that was Thursday. And then later on, Google sent us an image, our first look at the actual speaker. Now, they didn't say exactly what the name is. They just want to say this is a Nest device. And the image was accompanied with a short clip. So it kind of confirmed the design changes we saw in the filings earlier that day. And some of the stuff that we noticed that there are LEDs on the front of this new Google Nest speaker. So I imagine it's going to have some sort of proximity sensor, just like the Nest Mini, where those lights will light up when you come close to it. And it also available in different colors. We saw the coral color in there, the gray. So I imagine it's going to be in different colors. And the unique thing, though, Greg, this is probably one of the key differentiators between this new Nest speaker versus the original one, is that it may be battery powered. It's not confirmed yet, but it looks like it based on the video, because at the end of that clip, we see a little young girl come up and ask her father, "What is this?" And she's just holding in the hand. And another scene, we see it laid on top of the table, and it looks like it's working. So you can imagine it's going to be battery powered. We don't know, but hopefully we'll know more soon. Obviously, it was anticipated to be announced back at Google I/O, but we'll probably hear it very soon. As far as some of the other stuff, we don't know exactly what new features it'll encompass. So you can expect the better audio performance, maybe battery powered. Now, the question is that going to be enough to warrant an upgrade from the original one? Because the original one was it works fine. It controls your smart home. You have your Google Assistant right there at your home. And pricing is going to play a key role, because the original came out in 2016, $130. The new one, who knows? I'd imagine it's going to be somewhere along the same price. Obviously, they don't want to cannibalize sales, because the Nest Mini is their entry-level unit. Who knows if they're going to have a big-size speaker like the Google Max. So at this point, it's anyone's guess, but we anticipate knowing more about it and an official announcement coming soon.
Well, definitely interesting seeing if it was batteryless. That would be, I like the idea of that. Of course, it would depend on how long that battery lasts, but definitely something that would be pretty cool with it. But yeah, so that's what we've got. And John, you always keep us up to date with what we know. Like you said, maybe an announcement coming soon, but I know we've got more details about this, what we know so far, at digitaltrends.com. People can go check out. And John, as always, thank you so much.
Awesome. Thanks, Greg. Have a good one.
John Velasco right here. He is our smart home expert. So follow along digitaltrends.com for everything that he's talking about. All right, we're going to take a break, because coming up next, we've got Susanna Pollack, who is the president of Games for Change and leading the Raising Good Gamers Initiative. The Raising Good Gamers Initiative. That's what we're talking about next. So stick around. Back in a minute with more Digital Trends Live. Welcome back to Digital Trends Live. I'm Greg Nibbler. Appreciate everybody joining. Hit that subscribe button that we can join the show every single day for the conversations that we get to have. And I'm very excited about the conversation we're going to have right now. Joining us, we have the president of Games for Change and leading the Raising Good Gamers initiative. We're talking about the festival that's kicking off right now, and in particular, this Raising Good Gamers initiative. We have Susanna Pollack joining us. Thank you so much for being here with us.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
And appreciate you joining us to talk about this on the day that everything is happening. And to give everybody a little bit of context, could you just talk to us about the Games for Change Festival? I know it's the 17th annual one. Certainly things are a little bit different this year, but if you can give us a little bit of background on it and what's going on this year with the festival.
Sure. So we've been running the Games for Change Festival for the past 17 years. And usually we're at a beautiful venue in New York, downtown Manhattan. This year, because of everything that's going on, we decided to pivot to a virtual event. And, you know, although it's been a beast to produce, I think we've kind of figured out this amazing way to offer an interactive experience for thousands of people who want to come together and explore the positive powers that games can have. So we actually have increased our attendance by 5 times. We have over 5,000 people from around the world joining us over the next 3 days to learn about how games can make the world a better place.
That's incredible. And yeah, I can only imagine the technical obstacles that come with transitioning to something like that. But it sounds like it's working. It's reaching a lot more people. And something I want to talk about in particular is this Raising Good Gamers initiative. Now, you know, the gaming culture is something we're all aware of. As much positive as there is, there's certainly some negativity that's out there as well, and some things that go along with that, and changing that's really important. And it sounds like that's in part what this is trying to inspire. If you could tell us some more about what the Raising Good Gamers initiative is.
Yeah, absolutely. So Raising Good Gamers is a new initiative that we are working on with Katie Salen, who runs the Connected Learning Lab at University of California in Irvine. And it's an initiative that's an attempt to change the culture of online gaming for youth. There's promise and potential of games and media as spaces of learning, social exchange, and civil engagement among youth. And we feel like it won't be able to be fully realized without a shared public agenda that can address the growing problem of toxicity online. So it's a cross-sector initiative, and it brings together game developers, policymakers, researchers, parents, educators, and most importantly, youth themselves, to give them an opportunity to help create a sustainable movement aimed at raising a more kinder, civically engaged, pro-social generation of players.
That's fantastic. What a great initiative. And two, bringing in all of those different groups, you know, like you mentioned, so that everybody's kind of got a say and help shape this. I would imagine that's a very important part of this.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there are a lot of great efforts that are being made, you know, on the policy side, on the developer side, community management, you know, and as parents trying to raise conscious and pro-social children. But rarely is there an opportunity for all these groups to get together and organize a kind of, a cross-sector collaborative effort. And I think including youth in the conversation is also super important, as games represent a huge opportunity and for self-expression and self-identity. And to acknowledge how relevant and important games are in their world, I think is a way to understand how to help them navigate the challenges they have about being online.
Well, and part of this too, you're going to select a certain number of students that are going to be able to help participate. And if you could tell us a little bit more about that, like how that works and what they'll be doing.
Yeah, sure. So through a generous grant from the Susan Cran Exchange, we have an opportunity to work with a group of young people from middle and high schools to first have a series of convenings to give youth the chance to express their voice, their opinions about the issues that they're addressing. So we're going to be starting that in the fall. Second to that, we're also going to be working with a select group of young people, about 30 young people, to give them an opportunity to literally develop their voice, to develop a talk, a presentation. And we're partnering with TED Ed, which is an educational focus of the TED organization. And we're going to be working with providing these young people with a course that TED Ed developed on how to develop a talk, a TED-style talk. And we will be selecting a handful of these students to actually receive coaching opportunities from TED coaches. And ultimately, it will deliver a series of talks that we'll be able to host at the annual Games for Change conference next year, where we will launch the first Games for Change Youth Summit, something we've been wanting to do for a long time. And this seems to be a fantastic opportunity to get young people to be talking about games, talking about how they can change the culture, and let them own this subject and bring it to the world.
Talking about something you brought up earlier, which was, bringing in a lot of different people, a lot of different groups. You mentioned parents being involved too, and I would imagine education for parents is a big issue because if they have kids, they're probably gaming, but that doesn't necessarily mean they know very much about gaming culture or what's going on. What kind of recommendations would you have for parents out there to educate themselves?
Well, first, listen to what your kids have to say, and if you can, play with them. I think to really understand what the experience is for children is to do something together. And understand that the gameplay very often is a social exercise. It's a way in which they're connecting with friends, which is so meaningful and important now at this time of social distancing. And it's also a way that we're seeing teachers and educators are looking to reach young people in this world of distance learning, right? So games can have a very positive way to enrich young people's lives. So listening and playing and engaging with them. There are also a lot of great resources out there, and including our website at gamesforchange.org that lists fantastic pro-social positive games. And even at our festival this year, we have a number of sessions that are directly focused and speaking to parents and to the public about how they can better understand the way kids navigate and live within this gaming online culture.
I know the festival is kicking off today. It's going for a few days, I believe July 17th, so several days of this that are going to be going on, which is very, very exciting. And for everybody out there who wants to participate and learn more, where should we send them and how can they do that?
Oh, well, first of all, this festival not only is virtual, but it's free. So the first time ever, we're offering this to anybody who wants to learn more about the sessions. And as I said, there's a lot that's focused on education for parents, as well as other amazing topics having to do with health, mental health, virtual reality, big global issues. I mean, there's a lot to discuss. So you can go to gamesforchange.org. And click through to our festival website. Registration is free. It's going on today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. So it's over at the end of July 16th, not to the 17th. But all of the talks will be put online afterwards as well. So there's plenty of opportunity to engage with our content.
That is great. July 14th to the 16th. Go there, sign up, free. Susanna, thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations on all the hard work of making this still happen during a pandemic. That is a huge accomplishment, and appreciate you being here on Digital Trends Live.
Thank you for having me.